For those who hear, let them hear. For those who see, let them see. May the Christ within illumine the world and know that God is one with thee. Melchizedek, Truth Principle. Forsaking the old for the new. The heat of the day has passed. The chill of the night kisses the warm earth. The dew arises but to fall upon the petal of the rose and the leaf as well. Hush are the busy marts of life. Stars in the sky do twinkle and shine, and the moon its silvery light does cast. And the dewdrops, as the stars they sparkle, mingle with the light of the sun and the silvery moon. Still is the night and rest. Still is the night and rest. Peace comes to the troubled breast. The weary heart's rest. Peace, and all is well. Hush is the night. All is well. All is well. So mote it be. Greetings, dear hearts. Let there be peace. Peace. Let there be peace. When hands are joined in love, so likewise are hearts' love entwined. Love entwined. There are no years, it is but a day. And the day in which hands are clasped and hearts entwined in love, that day holds no regret. There is peace where there is love. Love knows no sorrow and never causes that to happen which brings regrets. The rose blooms forth in beauty, and it has no regrets when its petals fall, for it has expressed the undeniable presence of God. The tiny flower, as it grows along the highway of life, knows no lonesomeness, for it is not alone. It is all one with God. And as the wafts of the air touch the tiny bloom, it nods its head to the weary footsore wayfarer and says, "You are not alone. You are all one with God. All one, not alone." The rain descends upon the babbling brook, and each drop falls. And as it does, it says, "We are all one. We left you but a season ago, yet are not separated. For as we left you, we knew we would return. We are back again, but to return from the source of life which we have just left. The rays of the sun leaves the great oneness of the great sun. But they are not lost. They return but to reach man of earth in that time which men of earth call his tomorrow. The moonbeams dance upon the ocean deep, upon the seas, lakes, and brooks. But they are not lost. For when night falls on man's tomorrow, they shall again dance upon the seas, oceans, and lakes, and brooks. Alone? No, dear hearts. All one. Never alone. That which man accepts in love, at the moment he accepts in love, he shall prepare to release in love. There is no possession in love. Nature is not possessive. If nature were possessive, what would man do for that which man calls seasons in his year? Nature rejoices, and as it rejoices, it yields to man that which God has created. Man, O man of earth, learn nature's scroll of love. It is written in the language of action, not in words to be misinterpreted. written upon an eternal everlasting scroll. Spring comes and summer follows. Autumn comes and winter follows. But to be swallowed up again when spring returns. It is the language in action. Live, O man of earth, by the scroll which nature has emblazoned before thee. O man of earth, you are of nature as the flower along life's highway, as the rose in the well-tended garden, as the sparkling dewdrop, as the rays of the sun, as the moonbeams. O man of earth, you are a part of nature. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad. Rejoice. Yes, there is a wedded life, wedded in the holy sacred bonds of nature, a most intricate part of all there is, and that which man has learned to call life. Love is sacred, and it seeks not for deception. It knows not of suspicion, and therefore weeps not when night falls and rest comes. The last enemy to be overcome is death. Death. There is no death. Life is everlasting unto everlasting. What is the meaning of this statement? The last enemy to be overcome is death. What man or woman of earth is happy when they have not peace of mind? Overcoming that which causes mental distress is overcoming a death. Unpleasantness, as man of earth experiences them, are enemies to happiness. Happiness is found on the heavenly laden table, which the psalmist spoke of when he said, Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. How is that table spread? And with what? Each man and woman of earth prepares that table in consciousness. It is laden with all that which love expresses. There are many losses, so to speak, far greater than the loss of a physical companionship. For life is everlasting. And as we have so oftentimes said, there is no separation. Friendship bathed in the power of love cannot be lost. Often man of earth disregards a friendship, but when he or she, who will be friends, is moved by the power of love, that friendship of love never dies, and so along life's highway becomes recognized. It has always expressed itself. It has not been beheld by the one who rejected it. Will you remember the story of two men as narrated in your holy writ? One was referred to as a rich man, but he was not rich for the reason he did not recognize his spiritual riches. Yet it rested, buried in his consciousness. But he was numbered among the wealthy people of his country, and because of his wealth, he had power and authority, physically so. The other man was a certain Lazarus at the gate to the city. His body was covered with sores, and the dogs licked his sores in kindness. And a wealthy man passed, and a certain Lazarus was asking alms, and he asked of the wealthy man, and the wealthy man refused him and spat upon him. And as the story continues, the certain Lazarus continued to beg at the city gates, and the wealthy man died. And you will remember the wealthy man cried from the depths of hell and said, Cannot Lazarus wet my lips? He calls for the one he rejected and spat upon. Hell, where is it? It is but a condition of man's thinking. But the wealthy man discovered compassion in Lazarus, for Lazarus did not rebuke him when the wealthy man refused him and spat upon him. Therefore the wealthy man in his anguish asks, "Cannot Lazarus wet my parched lips?" What is the meaning of this story? Spiritual love is never lost, but it can be overlooked when mortal or mundane power becomes the underlying quest of man. But love does not die. It cannot. It is upon the table spread before man, in the presence of his enemies, in the quest for power. Might is an enemy which does not recognize the bounty and abundance upon the table. Lazarus was rich, for he possessed spiritual love. What was the lot of Lazarus in the previous incarnation? Just that of the wealthy man whom he met at the gate of the city. For that reason, the incarnation in which Lazarus lived did not bestow upon him earthly or physical wealth, but he found spiritual riches, as even the one who spat upon him found it. We hear men of earth make this statement quite frequently. I know I have committed error. I know I have not been just as kindly as I should have been, but I cannot reach for the hand of the one whom I have rejected. I do not feel spiritually strong enough to ask forgiveness. And that, dear hearts, is not necessary. Love never demands forgiveness. How then shall man of earth overcome his thinking, the law of forgiveness, which he has become conscious of? Well, he shall forgive himself. How? He shall give up the old for the new. Give for forgive. When the light, regardless of how faintly it flickers, when the light brings the illumination, and man of earth will cry, "Cannot Lazarus wet my parched lips?" It is then he or she who will behold the light, realizing all the mistakes of the past. Say, I give the old for the new. I forgive. And when in consciousness that has been accomplished, the one who has silently loved and has silently prayed is moved to answer the summons. Why? There is no separation in God. Spiritually, man is one, and love is power. Forgive. Give up the old for the new. And the last enemy shall be overcome. Death to man's idea, inspiration, aspiration, hopes. That enemy shall be overcome. Again, man shall come into the conscious realization, the fulfillment of his ideas, his inspiration, his aspiration, and his hopes. Love is the undeniable error, impelling power of the universe in which man lives. There is no parting. It cannot be. Time is not. Distance cannot be. Memory. Oh, memory holds its cherished reflections. Love is eternal destiny. Bless each one of you, 1,000 times 10,000. The last enemy shall be overcome by the by.